It's the end of the year, and we've learned a lot of stuff. Let's put these lessons to the test. Join me as I go through our big topics from the year and create something special. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome, friends, to this episode of the Play Guitar Podcast. I'm Lee, and this is the podcast that's determined to make you a better guitar player, no matter if you're just starting out or you've been playing for years. This is the show that will help you become the guitarist that you always wanted to be. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and check out the description for all of the links from the show. I'm enjoying myself today. I really am. I've been going through all of the podcasts throughout the year. We had a lot of motivational ones because people really need that. They do. It's just you can't stress it enough how much motivation helps. But I went through the topics, the playing stuff. I made a list of the things that we really touched on this year. We touched on rhythm versus lead guitar, going back and forth between those two. I touched on arpeggios and seventh chord arpeggios. I touched on one string a day exercises and working between scale patterns on the same string. We took a look at strong and weak notes. We looked at the major pentatonic scales. We looked at the blues scale. We looked at the minor pentatonic across the whole fretboard. We looked at open position boogie patterns. Those are fun. We looked at triplet feel, open position scales, different ideas for strum patterns. We looked at using music theory in your playing. We looked at minor blues boxes. And then finally, last week, we looked at major blues boxes. So I kind of picked these things out from between all of the other cool stuff that we did. But these are the ones that boil down to the getting around on the guitar better, right? So I said, this is the end of the year podcast. I could just say, hey, thanks a lot. We got a great year coming up next year. But no, I went on. I had to do something different for today. So what I thought I'd do is take all these things that we've learned and put my money where my mouth is and to create something on the spot. So let's talk a little bit first before we get into it. Major blues box, minor blues box. Key A, third finger on the 10th fret on the B string for the minor, and first finger there for the major. There's the minor. In a blues feel, Dorian always works really nice. Strum patterns. Let's see, we're in the key of A. I might do some open position blues boogie patterns. Blues scale. Major pentatonic. One string a day. I'll go arpeggios. Through those ideas, I think we're going to come up with something kind of fun today. Here we go. Awesome. That was fun. It took me a minute to get into it, but I started to if you notice that chord progression there, a couple times where you feel like I should have changed for the 12-bar blues, but it hung on that D chord for a little bit longer. And instead of going back to the A, it went right to the E. So this was kind of like a whole lot of A, then a whole lot of A7, a whole lot of D7, and a whole lot of E7 going on. But pretty cool. So let's see, what did I did a lot of the major blues box and minor blues box. I did a lot of the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. I don't think I did much blues scale though. I think I bypassed that. Maybe we'll do this. We'll do another one. We'll do another one in just a minute. Music theory and you're playing, hit a couple full scale things, mostly stayed in pentatonic. I did go down into the blues boogie patterns, did a little triplet feel with that. I definitely did some arpeggios. I'm going to start off with blues scale. Let's see if we can do it. Okay. All right. So that time through, we'll just do it 2 times. That was fun for me. I had fun. Let's see. We just started off with the blues scale. If you notice that, we call it solo, that jam that I did right there, very different sounding than the first one. The first one had more of a minor sound. This one did more of a major sound and more of a chordal, had more of a chordal sound. I was following the chords more in this one than I did in the first one. Use a lot of music theory in that. Did a lot of playing with the 6th degree of the scale, which I thought was fun. And let's see here. Did a lot of the blues boogie patterns there. That was a lot of fun. A little E7 arpeggio. But one of the things that I really liked about this, when it went to the E chord, I went to E major pentatonic. I switched totally to the E major pentatonic. And it all started off with the blues scale, which is really a minor thing. It started off minor and it became more fun, more of a happy kind of, more positive sounding there. So let's see how many of these boxes we tick. Major blues box, check. Minor blues box, check. Using music theory in your playing, check. Ideas for strum patterns. Well, we did the blues boogie pattern, and that, they had a little bit of that in there. I didn't really play straight chords. I did do some chord stabs, some people call it, some little chord fragments in there. Let's see here. Triplet feel, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It was the whole thing was triplet feel. Open position. Didn't do a whole lot of open position. I didn't get to that. Minor pentatonic across whole guitar. Yes. Blues scale. Yes. Major pentatonic. Yes. Strong and weak notes. Definitely. On this one, I was pulling out on the between the minor. This is something you see in blues a lot. So we're in A here. This is where the C is on the G string. This is the 5th fret on the G string. It's the minor third in this key. If I didn't bend it, it would be. The major third is 1 step away. I use that a few times too. We can use either in this blues because it's a dominant 7th chord. We can get away with either the major third or the minor third, right? But a lot of times what I did is I would bend somewhere in between these two notes. Now, if every time we bent this note and went all the way up to this, it's a little too exact. I like that kind of halfway. There's a lot of blend in between the minor third and the major third that you can put in there. Major pentatonic, check, strong, weak notes. 1 string. I didn't do the 1 string thing. I should have. I didn't. So I missed 1 or 2 things, arpeggios and rhythm verse lead. So I got mostly everything in there. But I can't wait to go back and listen to this and see how it turned out. 2 jams there. Maybe I would take some ideas from them, make a real solo out of them. But I was just trying to hit all the things that we talked about this year. So hopefully you can go back, go to iTunes or Spotify and go look through the podcast from this year and pick out the ones that have that are really focused on playing, the hands-on stuff like I did here, and challenge yourself. See how many of those ideas that you could use during a jam or during a solo or during maybe a song on stage. I think it's a good thing at the end of the year to go back and revisit some of the things that you worked on. So I would highly recommend you do what I did today. Go back and revisit some things. See what you can do with them. And then have some fun and get ready. Buckle your seatbelts because this new year is coming up. And I've got some plans for you this year and for me too. So we're gonna be playing some guitar, having some fun, learning some new stuff, and spending a lot more time together with each other. Because hey, you guys have been here for a long time. We've had listeners straight from the beginning. If you've come in new, a lot of you go back and listen to all the episodes. There's 294. I can't even wrap my head around that right now. And we're adding the YouTube element in. In fact, this episode, you can go in and see me playing all of these things. I'll have it up on Monday. So today's what? The 27th. I'll have it up in 2023. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. On the second of next year. What I have for you is how to gain a completely unfair advantage on guitar by practicing only 20 minutes a day. This time of year, you're probably not feeling it just yet. You're probably recovering from the holiday right now. Within a few days, happens every year, the practicing thought sets in. New Year's, this is a lot like exercise. A lot of people decide, well, okay, I'm going to buckle down now. I didn't get done everything I wanted to last year, but this year is going to be different. Well, this year is going to be different. It's coming, and I'm going to help you with that. And this video that I've prepared for you, how to gain a completely unfair advantage on guitar by practicing only 20 minutes a day, is free. It's open to the public. You don't have to enter in your email, anything like that. You just go over there, click the link. It's in the description below, and you will get the 3 secrets that will put you on a fast track to become the guitarist you always wanted to be. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about that as well, too. So I'm going to call it. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining me today and hanging out while I did some playing for the Play Guitar Podcast. Make sure to hit the button below to subscribe to the show. If you benefited from this podcast, please leave a review over there on Apple Podcasts. It's the best way to make sure we get this very valuable content to more guitar players around the world. And if more help, structure, and results in your guitar playing sound good to you, what are you waiting for? Play Guitar Academy is here, and it's updated big time. The whole structure is different. So if you've tried it before, it's a lot of new stuff. A lot of live stuff is happening. Every week we're having a live get together, which is new content for the Academy. So a lot of new stuff's going in there. Join the world's most exciting and carefully planned guitar system. And together we will build your online home base for guitar. Thanks again, everybody. And I will see you on the next episode.